Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. How y'all doing? It's a Sunday. Anyways, how much difference does it make just in doubling your RAM and doubling your storage space in performance of your PC in this case? We're not talking about Macs today, just PCs. Anyhow, the next video though, we're going to talk about Macs and PCs because it's going to be to deal with SSD drives. So we got our little HP laptop, which I've been having a hoot with this thing. I cannot believe what this thing can actually pull off now that it couldn't do as a stock configuration, which was 8 gigs of RAM and a 256 gig SSD. Now, the SSD was pretty quick. It was just over 2,000 megabits per second read, and the write speed, I can't remember exactly what it was. I have to retest the drive and let you know those numbers again. Or you can actually check one of my videos because it's up there. Anyway, Cinebench score. Multi-core did 3953. Single core did 1136. Okay, now with just that base configuration, Windows is chewing up pretty close to 5 gigs of RAM, almost 6. And it's a lot of RAM for Windows to be chewing. But Windows runs on 2 gigs minimum. Oh, well, yes, you're quite right. There are actually laptops out there that have about 2 gigs of RAM in them still. And a little eMMC drive that's slower than snot, will burn out fast, and you can't get past 64 gigs of storage. Those are called the most basic of basic laptops on the planet that are just designed for solely surfing the internet and not doing anything practical in life on, and are very expensive for what you're getting. For garbage, buy a real computer, okay? Anyways, so those of us who are buying real computers, we can upgrade our RAM, we can upgrade our storage, that's fine. And we, like I said, we're talking about PCs right now, not Macs, because they have their own thing. And yes, I'm a Mac fanatic either way, but hey, there's a purpose for everything under this world. So, I doubled the RAM. Now, the RAM I used was actually out of my Asus TUF 17. 3200 megahertz RAM. Same RAM that this thing uses. Same stick that was in there. But I wanted a match set. This way I knew that perfectly matched, everything's even for the amount of chips on each RAM stick, etc. You want to make sure your RAM is matched completely, okay, for top performance. And being at the same speed didn't cost me nothing. Bonus, saved me some money for a change. Pays to hang on to some things. So the drive was another thing that I was kind of hemming and hawing, and I did actually upgrade the drive. And I put in a GameX XPG Gamer SSD, which has a estimated read of 3,500 and an estimated write of 3,000. And I've speed tested it, and it's pretty darn close to its rating, so pretty good. Anyways, ran another Cinebench test last night. Now, I've also done a video editing test too ahead of time, and I gotta tell you, I was impressed. We'll get to that. So the new multi-core score, okay, the original was 3953. The new score is 3956. 3 points doesn't sound like a lot, does it? Keep in mind, I don't really honestly believe in synthetic benchmarking programs. I think they're a joke, but real world does tell the truth, right? So we'll get to that. Single core test. Original was 1136. New score, 1160. Now that was a drastic improvement. Okay, now keep in mind this is a 4-core, 2 gigahertz processor, okay, with turbo of 3.7 gigahertz per core, okay, on the top end. And I tend to run my laptops, except for my Asus TUF is about 3/4 of the way up. I run this one here, everything full blast all the time, whether it's on battery power or on regular power. And the anomaly on this one is whether I'm on battery power or plugged in, it doesn't drop its performance. Where my Asus TUF, it goes down in performance. Mind you, it still only gets me an hour and a half of gaming and the battery's dead. This sucker can go for hours and hours and hours. I went 2 hours and only dropped 24% of my battery doing games. That was pretty good because I was playing Far Cry and I love that game. And I'm now also, as a benefit, playing it in full tilt, all very high and ultra high graphics. There's only one ultra high setting, that's for water. Everything else is called very high. And yes, at 1080p and a very sweet display at that the thing has on it. So Really nice laptop. You should seriously take a look at this HP. It's all over my channel. Just type in HP laptop. It'll be the newest videos with the model number and everything. Freaking sweet, man. I gotta tell you, I'm impressed with this thing. So now in real world, what's happened? Well, in the real world, as you saw in my video editing videos that I did for comparing the Asus TUF and this and my Mac Mini, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I used all the same file and we did all that stuff and we had our main numbers at the end. This was including the import time, the clipping time, and hitting the export, okay? All one time frame. So I did the same thing again, and with the same size file, not the same footage, but same size file, same quality range, so we count. We saved 3 minutes on export, on the whole project actually, but in and out, we still saved 3 minutes. So even the export would be counted as that as being, we saved a grand total of 3 minutes. That was phenomenal time savings over the standard 8256 configuration with far less RAM, which I'm probably more than sure we were running swap when we had only 8 gigs of RAM. With 16 gigs of RAM, we're not hitting swap, not even close to it, when we're using Movie Maker, which has been around since the Stone Age. And I haven't tried any modern day editors yet, but I did try and download DaVinci Resolve 18. It's supposed to run fine. It runs great on my Mac. And I downloaded it for the PC on both computers, and on both I'm having failures to launch on this program. I do not know what's going on because I have watched YouTube channels where they're using DaVinci 18, which is the free version, and they have had no issues. I don't know why I'm having issues. I'm going to have to talk to somebody at DaVinci and go, what's going on? Okay? Anyways, and besides, it's not made for video editing, that laptop anyways, but the simple fact that it can actually pull it off is pretty impressive. So as a full-out emergency system, I could use it. And so I could still shoot videos during a power outage because all my stuff's battery powered. I can still edit. I just can't upload anything unless I hotspot off my phone. And yeah, good luck with that out in the country. I mean, it would take me a week to do the upload, so I'll wait till the power comes on. Just everything else done ahead of time. So I can still have a lot of fun in here. And besides, if the power outage is going to be too long, I can just fire up the generator and I got all my internet back. So I love generators. So yeah, so major differences there as far as the real world goes. That was a major impact just by doubling the RAM and the drive. Okay, and the speeds of the drive are phenomenally faster than the one that came with it. That's craziness. That's awesome. I love that. Now that drive also, I've had it for quite a while. In fact, let me give you some info on that drive. Chicken meow meow. All right. Yes, give me the info. It is an XPG Gammix, Gammix S11 Pro 512 gigabyte. Okay, it's an NVMe Express interface, 1.3, smart, trim, volatile, write cache. All the info is great. This drive also has a heatsink on it. This drive was also the original 512 I had done internally on my gaming PC tower that I used to have, okay? And so it's been around for a little bit. If you check that out, I bought the MDG gaming system. Check it on my channel. You'll know exactly when I got it. And I don't think I have a video on exactly when I retired it and sold it, but I did take a break from the PCs for a while. I just got fed up with Windows 11 garbage. At least now we have stability, and I'm pretty much happy for the most part. Anyway, so after all the use on that computer, plus it's been used quite a lot on my M1 Mini, okay, up until a couple of days ago, I jammed it into this thing after cloning it. And its health status says 96%. Current temperature, and this thing's been running all freaking day long, it's 29 degrees Celsius. Not bad. Now, the total host reads is 17,251. The total host writes 14,548. Now, this is gigabytes. Rotation rate is SSD. Power on count is 1,632. Power on hours, So that's the amount of hours it's been active for in its life so far. Has been 12,450 hours. So I love this program. This is Crystal Disk Info. And when you download it, you'll get two versions. You'll get 32-bit and 64-bit. All the OSs nowadays are 64-bit, but if you are running a 32-bit OS, the 32-bit version program part works for you on a 32-bit machine. And I don't know too many people that got 32-bit computers anymore, but I'm sure there's still quite a few of them floating around out there. So, in total, yes, even doubling the RAM is going to give you a massive increase, okay, in performance. Whether it's gaming, whether it's surfing the internet, you're going to find things are going to move along faster. Programs launch obviously a lot faster when there's more RAM there. Now, I don't know what this thing maxes out to. I'm thinking about calling HP because I'm almost considering that if it can go to 32 gigs, maybe we'll stop there. And then this way I could also get a better video editing program that is not going to go into swap. Because video editing programs, if you're going to use them, even though this thing really isn't made for it, but it does it, I'm more into the gaming aspect. I don't ever want to have any game wanting more than what I have. So, that is going to bring us into another video altogether where we are going to talk about a lot of the Kool-Aid that's been handed out that many of you have drank and regretted, just like the people who handed it out drank it and regretted it, but it was too late by the time they regretted it, so you already drank the Kool-Aid and now you're chicked off too. Stay tuned for that one. I don't know what I'm going to do for a title on it, but you'll know it to see it because we're going to be discussing it in full detail because there's a lot of people that, well, pretty much every YouTube channel has never given out this information, ever. And they really should be if they're going to be talking tech on their channel, especially specific tech channels only, which I am not specifically tech. I do a lot of tech stuff, yes, but I'm not all about tech. I'm all about a lot of things, right? But tech is one thing I know all too well, especially computers. I am right in there, okay? And I know what's really going down that they are not even telling you. So when they recommend a system to you, they're still giving you the wrong info, okay? Anyways, well, that's for another video. This was to discuss this. So now a lot of you are like, I gotta wait for this guy's video now. Yes, you do, okay? But don't worry, it'll be done at some point today, and we'll get it done for you, and you'll have that info. So thumbs up, all right? Anyways, so definitely was the benefit. 16 by half a terabyte, pretty good. I won't be upgrading the drive any further, though. If anything, I may double the RAM yet again. I may go to 32 gigs if it can handle it, okay? And I think that would be about where I'm going to stop. And the RAM I choose, I can tell you right now what RAM I will choose, and that is the exact same RAM I bought for my gamer's laptop because it is the same speed in both machines, which is great. I'm going to get the Temtech RAM because I've had really good luck over the last several years that I've been using Temtech RAM. I've also used their SSDs. I have no issues with them at all. I think they've been perfectly fine for me. And, but I mean, in a pinch, I'll go to my local Best Buy. I'll buy a Western Digital drive, but I won't buy Samsung. But that's another story. I'm really not a Samsung fan. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings any. But there's a reason why, and that's mostly because any of my friends that buy Samsung stuff that isn't lasting long, which I told them to begin with, don't buy Samsung. It's overpriced garbage. You will see. And sure enough, they did. And guess what? They're not using it anymore. Okay? Because they suck. Kind of like RCA. Not a good product. Okay? Anyways, some things are good, some things aren't. Just sorry, but Samsung, as far as I'm concerned, is junk. Now, I'm not saying the RAM is bad. I've had a lot of computers that have had Samsung RAM in it, and the RAM's been fine. But when it comes to their drives, they are overpriced. They don't last very long. And that's just the way it is. And you're investing money into these drives and storing your personal and private information on them. You kind of like to have the thing boot up every time for more than 6 months to a year. And once those things go offline, you're toast. You're not getting your stuff back. That's a huge problem with SSD technology over HDD. HDD, at least, even if the drive died, the info is on the platters. We could recover that. But they're really dogpaw slow and they need to go, okay? So SSD, we need to do double to triple redundant backups now if we want to make sure that our stuff is always 100% guaranteed safe, period. Anyway, that again is going to be for the SSD video, which will also be coming up as well, where we're going to talk about SSDs, lifespans of SSDs, what you need to know before purchasing an SSD for your computer. And yes, that does include, if you are going to be getting a Macintosh, what would be the better suitable way to go, either internally or externally. And yes, there's going to be answers for all of that, okay? Anyways, thank you so much for watching, hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the video and got more info now to go by. So if you do have a base model machine and a PC that you can upgrade the RAM and the drive in, if you want to reap the benefits, babies, at least double the RAM and double that drive and get a faster drive for the internal side. Those internal buses can go pretty darn quick. I don't know how fast they max at, but we'll have to find that out over time. One of these days I'm going to have to bite it and get a 7,000 megabit per second drive and throw it into one of these puppies and see just how fast it can rip out on an internal bus on an average PC laptop, okay? Because, yeah, the more the speed, the merrier in my books. And that would help even more time savings on video editing. But we got to figure out, where we're at. I would suggest, personally, if you're wondering about how fast the bus can handle for a drive and produce those type of speeds that the drive's rated for, call the manufacturer or email them about your specific computer and ask them, how fast of a drive can the internal NVMe support? Okay, I want to put in the baddest, fastest drive I can, but how fast will that bus handle so that I don't waste my money, in other words? And that'll also be part of the SSD thing, where we talk about external cases and SSD drives, because a lot of people are making a lot of wasted money purchases, I've been finding too, along the way on YouTube in the last couple of weeks. I do a lot of research all the time, guys. Anyways, thanks again. See ya.